Yeah, I mean, some offices, their whole business model is that we have $0 cleanings, and then the fine print is like if you have insurance.
If you have insurance.
Right, because does that make sense? Like, so
Yes.
they're catering to the insurance concept, people's concept of dental insurance. But, those practices are going to have struggles. They're going to have multiple full-time employees that are, fighting the insurance.
And
they're going to
one-time customers too.
One-time customers, exactly.
Because somebody comes in thinking this is free, and then they find out, oh, you actually have to pay because you don't have insurance.
Yeah.
They're like, well, why would I ever come back here?
Right. So they end up watering down the soup a lot with different providers that don't really care, that you see a different person each time. You have patients that show up, they're there because it's the cheapest. And just because, this is the place that accepts
I'm going to come here one time for my coupon. I'm going to use my coupon today here.
Yep, exactly. It's the fast food model.
It is. It's a fast food model. Yeah. And speaking of fast food, when you first came in today, and today is a Friday.
Yeah.
And can you share what you do on Fridays with your son? Yeah.
I've got a 9-year-old Luke, and one of the things, my favorite part of the week is taking him to breakfast. I've got a dear friend, dentist in Georgia named Sid Parker, and he said the best thing about his fatherhood, it was having breakfast with his kids before school 1 day a week. So that meant a lot to me. I started doing that. And, last night Luke said to me, he's like, I want to go to Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
And they've got a pretty good breakfast.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very healthy.
They just remodeled the dining room. Yeah. So anyway, we went to Taco Bell.
No, it
this
is
morning.
good. They have really great refried beans. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we talked about drinks because I don't know, did you jokingly say Mountain Dew? Was that a joke?
Yeah, I may have had split a Mountain Dew with him.
Okay.
Even though, I'm embarrassed to say it. I don't think that if you don't do it every day, you're
right.
fine.
Yeah.
And so we had that for breakfast. And so he's going to school like
hopped up.
Yeah, it's
hopped
the sugar-free
up on Mountain Dew,
right? I think it was the Baja Blast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you about soft drinks.
Yeah, you bet.
And like a Mountain Dew, for example, because do they have Diet Mountain Dew? I don't drink Mountain Dew. Okay, so let's say somebody got the regular Mountain Dew that's full of sugar, full of caffeine. Right. How does that affect the teeth? And what should you do after you drink a Mountain Dew? Oh, that rhymed. I'm so glad.
Yeah, I mean, I jokingly say to patients, you can drink your 2 liter of Coca-Cola, you might become a diabetic fast. But if you rinse it off your teeth, it won't hurt your teeth.
Okay.
Right?
So just a little swig of water afterward?
Yeah, I mean, it's the exposure to acid.
Okay.
Or the exposure to sugar. And it's the multiple exposures. So if you're just like sipping on the Mountain Dew all day, that can really have an effect. Mountain Dew is particularly damaging because of citric acid. Oh,
wow. So if you're a sipper all day, then...
Yeah, so it has a particularly bad effect. And it's a like acids are measured on pH, based on the hydrogen ion. And so some acids are really damaging. Stomach acid is the worst. That can be 1,000 times stronger. And so soft drinks, just don't watch out for the soft drinks because of the acidity. So the acidity of soft drinks is the diet soft drinks. They can still be acidic.
Oh, okay. So even diet drinks.
Yeah, even sugar-free drinks can be acidic. They probably have a pH of about 5.
Okay.
Coffee is also acidic too.
So after you drink your morning coffee, brush your teeth, or at least rinse out your mouth.
I would just say,
how about wine?
Have a little bit of water.
Same thing with wine. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Wine, rinse with water.
Okay.
Is an easy thing to do.
Yeah. Super easy.
Swish and swallow, swish and spit. You don't have to swish and spit. I mean, and people aren't going to do that. Yeah. I would never ask someone to do that, or just like take a drink of water and rinse.
Rinse your mouth
what I mean?
out.
Like chase your wine with water.
Yeah.
Drink a little bit of water after you drink wine. It'd probably be the best thing to do.
Okay.
If you don't have time to brush. That it's those exposures that build up over time.
It can make your teeth more sensitive because you have then more recession.
You can notice cold sensitivity just because of a habit that persists over time, like sugar or acid.
Oh, that can lead to cold sensitivity?
It can lead to cold sensitivity, yep. Or you can have whitening, like white strips or, excessive tooth whitening.
Same thing with the acid, basically?
Not acid, but that's when people should stop when they feel that cold sensitivity.
I see.
And that's when people usually do stop whitening, because they feel that cold sensitivity.
And will that repair itself? If you get to the point where you have cold sensitivity, can your teeth recover? Oh, it is reversible.
Yeah, it's reversible.
Okay.
I think your teeth just need minerals.
Right.
At that point, they're
start doing the workout.
Exactly. They're just starving for the hydroxyapatite.
Okay.
This surface layer has been removed, and so they're looking for some calcium and phosphate. Right.
Okay. So the last time that I was in, we were talking about insurance, and I know that you made a change in the insurance companies that you were willing to be a preferred provider on. And so you were on my preferred provider list, and you're no longer a preferred provider under my plan. But of course, I'm still here because I adore you and I trust you. And there's nothing that can replace, in my mind, that trust.
Right.
Like, I'm not willing to go to another dentist.
Right.
So can you explain why you made that choice?
You bet. I felt there was a fork in the road, and I felt because of the external pressure from insurance that I needed to make a choice. I knew there was going to be consequences to that. I'm going to lose many patients. I mean, I did lose probably 1,000 patients. And I heard from some other dentists that I trust and respect that made the same choice.
It's a bold choice. Yeah.
And they said, I mean, you'll still have a practice.
Yeah.
And there's a preferred network, and then like a non-preferred provider, and you're gonna pay more. I would say like 1/3 of the patients are like you. They're gonna, because of our relationship, they're gonna find another way. 1/3 they're gonna leave immediately, and then the other third are going to leave, and then they can't find the quality of care somewhere else, and so we see them again within a year or two.
Yeah.
And those patients keep coming back.
Yes.
And every once in a while we'll have conversations about that as well. So because of the challenges, I think that insurance poses for dental practice, and the fees and the reimbursement levels, the difficulty with claims, some dentists choose to be out of network.
Yeah. I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. And so it's going to,
from a business perspective, it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah. And you're going to find out who your friends are.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're going to be tested. I don't know. I'm not sure it's for everyone,
Yeah. Yes.
So it might not be for everyone. But it's going to be a combination of your relationship with patients, your talent level, the service mix of procedures that you provide.
Yeah.
That is all going to be, factor in. Some dentists are not going to have the guts to do it.
And even with fewer patients, what have you noticed as a entrepreneur, as a business owner?
What have I noticed after?
Yeah. Like, how has it changed your business? So you lost some of your patients, but how has that benefited or not your business?
I mean, I think I can have more conversations with patients. I think I have like a little bit more time. Yeah, I've gotten just a few minutes here and there.
Yeah.
With people like you that I enjoy, so if you love what you do, you're a dentist that loves loves the relationships.
Yeah.
Then that's the great choice for you.
And you're still able to meet your business goals, your revenue goals, those sorts of things, and have more time with people at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the analogy about like a coupon book, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you're a restaurant, you just need to get those customers in the door.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Some dentists are just starting out, you know, they're waiting for the phone to ring.
Yes.
They don't have any customers. Maybe the corporate office, you know, this is like the Great Clips dentist office, right? That you see one on every corner.
Yes.
Or like a fast food. And they just need the customers. They need volume. They're obviously going to accept everything they can. It's just a marketing decision.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
Like anybody starting out in business, you know, you do what you can to make a name for yourself, to establish yourself in someone's life, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you reach a certain level, then you're free. You've kind of reached that critical velocity.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way. I mean, that speaks volumes that you were willing to do that and see benefit from it. And I've seen benefit from it too, because I've noticed that you are able to spend a little bit more time, which I value and cherish, you know, our conversations when I come in. I introduced you to Dr. Yoram Solomon, who's written a book and has a program called Trust Premium. Trust Premium is the name of his book and his keynote, and he travels all over the United States, all over the world.
It's a great book.
Talking about trust in a business relationship. And what he's done through all of his research, what Trust Premium means is that if I trust you as I'm your customer, you're my provider, I trust you, I am willing to pay 40% more, that's the premium, to keep you in my life.
Yep.
And so we see it playing out here, and you see it playing out with those customers like me who said, I'm not going anywhere. I don't care that my insurance company is not paying that extra coupon value for my cleaning visit. Right?
Exactly.
Because this mouth of ours is precious and important for the duration.
Yeah, and you said it. That's I love that definition of the trust premium. It encapsulates so much in how we behave. I mean, these are all worldwide values on consumer values.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
These are consumer values.
Right.
And it's a great way of defining that. So it's a great business book related to trust. I mean, I think that people trust Starbucks for how it's going to taste.
Yes, exactly.
So
brand
they'll pay more
loyalists.
for that. Yeah, I know.
I know I am.
Yeah, they'll trust. They don't want to be surprised. Right?
Consistency.
They want to know what that's going to be like. That experience is going to be like. So they'll spend a little bit more for that. I'm sure that's in line with that.
Completely.
Right. So but I love that book. I'm looking forward to spending some time with him.
Yes, right. I think he's going to have you as a guest on his podcast.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We need to get together. I think we got a meeting coming up pretty soon.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Wonderful. Well, you know, earlier we were talking about the routine of taking care of this precious mouth of ours. But we talked about flossing and the plastic pick that you can use for 6 months. Do not throw it away. Do not hurt the turtles, basically, right?
Right.
Do not poke the turtles in the eye.
Save the ocean.
Save the
turtles.
Ocean.
Save the whales, right?
But the floss that I use is still the pull-through kind.
Yeah, that's great.
And there are so many different kinds of floss, though. The really, really skinny kind, the wax, cloth, the stuff that's supposed to biodegrade that breaks in the middle of your teeth.
Yeah.
You know, I've tried everything.
Right.
And on your recommendation, I have a floss that I use. Can I say the brand? Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cocoa Floss.
Yeah, Cocoa Floss is a great one.
That's what I was recommended.
Yep.
So how does one, and I need it because of all of these nooks and crannies in my teeth that we've talked about because of my old crowns, you know, to really get in there and help me get things out.
Yeah.
So how does one go about finding the right kind of floss? Like, do you have any tips on choosing the best floss?
Yeah. It always comes back to utilization. So if someone doesn't like their floss, they're not going to floss. What good is it, right?
Right.
So it would be, let's use the analogy of like exercise. You need to exercise. People like to run. Some people like to use the rower or the Stairmaster or the treadmill. But whatever gets their heart rate up and, you know, and then gets them physically into it is what you should choose. And so floss, some people like, it's very satisfying to feel that woven floss, you know, then that just feels like, you know, it's like wiping a sweater between your teeth. You know?
Yes, right.
I mean, some people like that. I mean, I've heard hygienists say that that's what they want, you know, and so funny. They don't want to give that up, you know, and I would never want to take that from them. You know, that's great. The opposite side of the spectrum is the glide floss, right? Yes. Or Teflon, which nothing sticks to Teflon, right? It's so slippery that you hardly feel like you're doing anything.
Exactly.
So you're like, gosh, I mean, it's easy to floss, but am I really doing anything, right? So that would be the other side of the spectrum, right? If you're using floss on a string, then you have to, that takes a little bit more skill. You're putting your fingers in your mouth.
Yeah.
And some people don't like to do that, but there are some advantages, like a shoe shine technique. So it's going to wrap around your tooth a little bit better.
I see. Okay.
Then those flossers, you know, don't really do that as much, but you can like articulate the flossers, you know, to do that. If you just take a few seconds to, you know, you can overcome that effect and get the same effect. So I would say you don't want something that's got no texture, and you don't want something that has too much texture because maybe it's difficult to floss for people. Yes. Somewhere in between, there's probably a Goldilocks.
Or too skinny.
Just, you know, too much, too little.
Yeah, right, Goldilocks. Right, yeah, find your Goldilocks floss.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be different for each person.
That could be a new brand name for floss. Goldilocks floss.
I know. Goldilocks everything.
Goldilocks everything. Goldilocks life, right? Yeah.
Put Goldilocks on like, you know, like I'm into like chili oil now. I don't know if you've
Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, chili
it's just
oil.
Like, right. Just
get the right heat.
Yeah, exactly. Just not too hot, not too cold, just right. You know?
Yeah, just right. So when you are flossing, do you want to take the floss all the way down as far as it will go around your tooth and then pull it through or saw back and forth? What's the best?
I mean, if you're not confident, then I would pull it through.
Okay.
If you've got, you know, complicated bridge work, you might want to pull it through. Or an implant.
I notice that's what you do in my mouth, or you know, when I come in for a cleaning, they pull it all the way.
Yeah, I mean, through. when we're seating veneers, you know, like we will, you know, and we're flossing for the first time, I'd use the pull through because I don't want to have pressure, you know, coming off. Maybe the cement. I'm just still, it's still hardening. Right. And
that'd be bad.
Or curing. So that's where we use the pull through kind of method. But as far as like, you know, every day, I mean, go ahead and go back and forth is preferable. It's great. The flossers that I like are plackers. 3M makes a good one. I think Scope has Scope and Oral-B have a fiber that's pretty good.
Yeah, Oral-B I think is what we have.
If you have like a generic brand, the problem with it is not going to be in the plastic. The problem is that the fiber is going to shred quick. And so that's I would say choose the high quality one for the environment because you can reuse it. You know, you can sanitize it like you would a toothbrush and continue to use it and don't throw it away until it shreds, and it would last a lot longer. And it's going to really cut down on our consumption of those flossers and all the plastic that's produced.
Yeah.
So that's my message for you know, my environmental message is to reuse your flosser. And that might sound gross to some people, but I think that like it would be better for the environment if we could like, you know, reuse that thing.
Yeah. Could you like keep it in a little thing with water and hydrogen peroxide, like just dip it in there to sanitize it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to like introduce like one of these little ultrasonic.
Cute little, yeah.
Yeah. Just called it like a Goldilocks bath or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Goldilocks bath. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's
and then
do that
put your
together.
branding on it. Put your face on it. With your big smile.
Yeah, I'll go to you for some help with my commercial.
Okay,
my first commercial.
Everybody needs one of these in their bathroom.
Yeah.
Or in my husband's case, he does his flossing after he eats dinner in his lazy boy.
Yeah, I bet, something even better than that, probably that would, instead of chemical, it would be UV.
Yeah, UV. Mm-hmm. That's a great idea.
Yeah, you could just have two LCD screens or, lights.
Yes.
Just click it closed.
Well, you know what else you could use that for is a mouth guard, which is the next thing I wanted to talk to you about because you made an adjustment to mine. Mm-hmm. I've had a mouth guard the same mouth guard for quite some time. Yeah. And I was wondering if maybe it was causing my recession because I have had it for a long time. Mm-hmm. You explained that is not the reason for my recession. I was hoping for a quick fix, get rid of the mouth guard and you'll be fine, or you just need a new mouth guard. Yeah. But you did make an adjustment to it. Mm-hmm. How do you know when you're a person who needs a mouth guard? Mm-hmm. What does that having a mouth guard do for you? Mm-hmm. And why should you consider one?
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. So a night guard for night wear, there's also a day guard, mouth guard.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, I mean, some people want to turn off the clenching or the grinding while they're, at work or something like that. And for those, we usually go with a lower one. Uh-huh. For a night guard, we usually it's going to be an upper, although it depends. Some people have preferences. But
does it look the same, the lower and the upper, like it covers your teeth? So you wear it during the day, and you have this plastic thing over your
Usually
teeth?
the lower is a little smaller. Doesn't need to be very big.
Okay.
The upper, and my favorite night guard for the upper, I remove the second molar, so it only goes to the first molar, and then I remove all the front teeth, the front four.
Yeah, that's the front teeth of the night guard, not your front teeth.
Yeah, I don't remove the. Yeah.
Take your molars and your front teeth out, and you're going to be good to go.
No, we keep your front teeth. Sorry.
So how do you take how do you? That's interesting.
So in the night guard, basically, it's really important when a person sleeps that they can close their lips.
Okay.
They can achieve lip closure because we want nasal breathing. We want to encourage nasal breathing.
And why is that?
Nitric oxide, very healthy for you while you're breathing, for one. Also, you're going to sleep better. So getting patency or air to pass through your nose with your mouth closed is really important for people. Okay. Yeah. So, and that's a whole nother topic, right? How are we doing? What are we doing to encourage nasal breathing? This is kind of like a sleep apnea conversation. But as far as a night guard goes, when we take out the four front teeth in the night guard, so that what I like is you don't really need to have it come out over in front of the front teeth. Okay. That makes it excessively big.
Yes.
In the front, it's kind of unnecessary. You can trim that part of the night guard, and so its retention is on the sides.
I see.
On the middle side.
That would probably be a lot more comfortable for people too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So that's my favorite design. That's my preferred design. And what you really need to do is keep your teeth from locking in or getting locked together. So when you bite, your teeth nest with each other, kind of like gears engage and disengage. When you engage those gears, upper and lower teeth, the body usually has a adaptive response of clenching, maybe grinding, and that's to maybe figure out what is the most comfortable because of maybe an imperfect bite. Maybe there's an interference that can cause clenching. Your brain's basically just trying to figure that out in an adaptive response. So a night guard is going to keep that response turned off. So it'll separate the teeth. Not only will it brace your teeth together to protect them, but it usually turns off that adaptive response.
Oh, it does? Really? Okay. Because I notice I still clench against my mouth guard.
Yep. So some people will still clench, and that's a kind of like level 2. So those grinders or clenchers that are doing it with their night guard, are, difficult.
I'm difficult. I know.
It's difficult to stop. Yeah. Yeah. You're one of those people.
It's like a pacifier, where you're like, so I shouldn't do that.
Right.
I should train my brain to stop doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I think I heard from John Coyce, the legendary dentist, say that it's a American Express night guard because you don't leave home without it.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I never leave home without mine. Are there night guards made of different materials that can help somebody like me who clenches even though I have a night guard? That's probably why I have so much recession.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that
maybe I need a new mouth guard then. I need one of.
We want to
Perry
try
designed.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to turn off that. Maybe what we need to do is make a night guard that's a little thicker.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So that your jaws don't come closer together.
Yes.
If you're a little bit open, then maybe you
because mine are all indented. It's all indented in the bottom now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's do that.
All right. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. I could. Yeah. Definitely. That's something we should explore.
Okay. Let's explore.
And then you're not going to see effect right away. You're going to see effect
in 20 years from now when my teeth don't look like skeleton teeth.
I know. Just imagine, right?
When I can still feel
not having
confident
teeth.
with a smile.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you told me. You said, if theoretically, if you can find the reason why you're seeing more recession now, like just in the last year, I would say I see more. If we can figure that out and slow that down, you should have the same teeth in terms of level of recession now as you would 20 years from now.
Yeah. I mean, 20 years from now, you're hopefully going to look back and be like, hey, I haven't changed very much. My teeth have been preserved, right?
Yes.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Right. Preserved from damage.
Yes.
There's preservation effects. There's, we all want preventative dentistry, preventative medicine. But there's also preservation.
Yeah.
And
that's huge.
Preservation takes a while to see the effects, right? It takes years. So some of these concepts we talk about with patients have to do with preservation.
I love that.
Yeah.
Prevention and preservation.
That's it. The two P's, right? So prevention is a topic. Preservation is another topic. Night guards are for preservation. Having a perfect bite or adjusting your bite to will allow preservation. There's other things that we can do for preservation, like habits. How do we toothpaste, non-abrasive toothpaste, not rinsing the toothpaste off. Some of the topics that we've discussed are probably in the category of preservation.
Yes. And the other thing that you brought to mind when I was here last time was actually it was a hygienist who said, think about not closing your teeth together during the day unless you're chewing food, keeping them apart. Something that I'd never thought of in my life before, but I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah, I mean, there's thousands of times a day where we are touching our teeth together, right?
Yes.
Every time we swallow, we usually touch our teeth together. I would challenge you to try to swallow without touching your teeth.
I'm trying it right now. I can't do it.
It's hard to do.
Yes.
So there's going to be a lot of times where your teeth are touching. You want to make sure that there's equal simultaneous pressure on all of them. If some of them hit more than others, most people don't know it,
Right.
Some people do. Some people are more sensitive than others. It's kind of like the princess and the pea, right?
Yeah, right. The princess and the pea. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you do that with that paper that you put in between, and then you say, okay, bite down really fast, and then you see the color on the paper. Like, I don't feel any difference, but you see the difference, and then adjust for the difference.
Yeah, I mean, some people can feel that pee through all those mattresses, but other people can't tell, right? Most people can't tell. And so they're doing damage to that one particular tooth, right? Because it's hitting a little bit prematurely or a little bit harder. Or maybe when you do a certain motion, it's sliding.
Yes.
So it's spraining. Because teeth are just like having, 28 different antlers. different horns that are kind of sticking out of your skin, right?
Yes, right.
And so they're a complicated structure. You know, they're way more complicated than hair or eyelashes. And so there's a ligament that's holding them into your jaw, to your jawbone, which is your skull, your upper and lower jaw.
And here's the thing about hair and eyelashes, that as we get older, we know we lose our hair everywhere, except for like, you know,
our ears,
maybe ears, but we don't want to be losing our teeth. We don't want to be, because we can you can have a wig or go get some help, but you know, teeth are expensive and necessary.
Right. Definitely.
Everyone in my family, my grandmother, my grandfather, my uncle, my grandparents have passed away, but they both had dentures. And I saw them, you know, putting the dentures in the jar of whatever every night. And then my uncle has gone through, you know, several set of teeth and having to get used to a new set of teeth. And that is the last thing that I ever want to do.
And I think you'll be fine. You're going to keep your teeth your whole life, for sure.
And I'll have you to thank. I'll have you to thank.
That'd
Dr.
be nice.
Perry.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Maybe you can say nice things about me.
Yeah. At my memorial, when you come to my memorial service one day, you're like, I'm responsible for those great teeth.
Yep. Yeah. I've done that before.
Have you?
I'm very comfortable saying that.
Good.
Yeah.
And by then, you know, everyone will know you as the dentist to the stars. And they're like, oh my gosh, the dentist to the stars is here to see.
That's right.
Rebecca at her memorial service.
Yeah. Dr. Brummett, who actually started the dental practice, he became a patient many years later. And I got to write in his memorial, which was great.
Yeah.
He didn't want to become a patient of the guy he sold the practice to that sold it to me. But he came back because his kids were in the practice. And they were like, yeah, you know, he's also a Navy pilot, Dr. Brummett.
Oh, so you had that connection.
Yep. He lived a long time, probably, I think into, I think he made it to his 90s.
Wow.
And was golfing every day. I really enjoyed him. So I'm happy to write in people's memorial because of the connection I have. I love that part.
Stand up and speak since you're such a great speaker. That's what I expect.
I learned from you.
Okay.
Best. I don't mind giving the credit. It's great.
Yeah.
So no, I'm working on it every day. The funny thing is I still feel like I need help speaking. Maybe we all do.
You know what? And that's a good feeling because I feel that way.
Okay.
Like there's always room for improvement.
Right.
Always, always, always. You know, there's when you think about a presentation that you've given, there's an old saying for speakers. There's actually 4 presentations that you give every time you give one. It's the one you plan to give, the one you actually gave, the one the audience hears, and the one you'll give next time.
Nice. I like that last one.
Right. Yeah, me too. The one you'll give next time.
My dad passed away about 6 months ago.
Oh.
It was, I think, just before his birthday.
Oh, wow.
We just had the memorial service last weekend.
You did?
Yeah. I should have called you and got prepped for that speech, but I did think about you and delivery. I tell you what, I knocked it out of the park. It was great.
I'm sure you did.
So I'll share with you the recording.
Yes, please.
Does that sound good?
Yes. Yeah. Were you
if
here
I can
in
find
town?
it. It was recorded. No, it was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry for you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. He's great. I think he did pretty good. And so we got to celebrate my favorite part was passing around the microphone and hearing all of his friends.
Yes. The stories.
Yeah. Things I'd never heard before.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
So I think it's important that we show up for people,
you
know, in memorials, and speak up, you know, and use our words to honor them.
Yes, right.
So, I was able to do that last weekend. So
how
it was
meaningful.
A good time.
How meaningful.
That was my last speech, you know, in front of more than one person.
I would love to see the recording.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Please
Let's see
share.
if I can get it. Yeah.
Okay.
It was recorded, but I just have to go dig for it.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody got it on their phone or something.
Yeah. I mean, somebody got it. I think the church where the memorial service was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Yeah.
Recorded it, you know, but I don't know what happened to it. I got to ask my sister. So this has been wonderful. Thank you, Rebecca, for being here. And I want to share with everyone that you have a website, RebeccaMurray.com.
RebeccaPMurray.com. There's
Okay,
a P in the middle of Rebecca and Murray. And then also showcaseyourshine.com. Both go to the same place.
Okay, great. So yeah, Showcase Your Shine really encapsulates, what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so I just want to highlight that we are customers, and
we're customers of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we are.
And so it's added so much to our business. And so I just want to say thank you, and thank you for being here. I hope we can do this again sometime.
Yes, me too. It's been my pleasure. And thank you for educating me about how to care for my precious teeth.
You're welcome. Hey, thanks for watching the Blake Perry podcast. Please tune in next time. We're going to talk to some other interesting people, both from my practice, people that have all kinds of talents. And I think next week we're going to be talking about 3D scanning and finding out a little bit more about AI in dentistry. So we'll talk to you then.